That's the funniest thing with like the George Carlin, wherever, like, because everybody, like, super liberal people are like, George Carlin said this. It's like, George Carlin would not be in favor of vaccine mandates.
Right.
But the problem with a guy like him,
they're like, well,
too,
yes, he would.
is he was alive long enough. For one, the comments are always different in the context of that period.
Right.
But two, he was also a comic for 30 years and said a lot of stuff in a lot of different periods. And then people get to pick and choose to make him seem like they agree with him.
Yeah, of course, they pick and choose, but you're like, I'll tell you two things that he was not. He was not pro-government or pro-pharma. Like,
right.
He was never,
or
pro
policing.
Yeah,
like, he
exactly.
Was
none of those things.
That,
and
right?
everybody,
no, but he did.
They take like a second clip.
But this is the thing. He said both over his career, because he did say he was like, political correctness is just like, you know, being an just
fascism with manners.
Right, exactly. But he also said that people like Andrew Dice Clay, he thought that they were just like using comedy to be racist. So he's like, he's said like all versions of it. And the truth is, like, it depends on the thing in the context. Like sometimes, you know, we probably said some version of like, oh, these fucking this specific comic, like, no, he just actually kind of wants to say the N-word, or he doesn't know how to do comedy, so he's just saying this shit to be like shocking because he's bad at comedy. Yeah, whatever. Sure. Sometimes it's all of them. Like this, there's no like, it's always this one or it's always that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think him, and he's different from Alan Watts, but they were people that were like super philosophical, but I feel like maybe they didn't see this coming, or maybe they did, but the way the left, because it used to be, at least when I grew up, the right that was like always trying to speech police, and oh, you can't say that.
Yeah.
And now
they still are a little bit now.
For sure. And like they'll be like, oh, we're free speech, but if you say a few things that they don't want to hear, they
make a pedophile joke, see how much they like it.
Yeah. But I think so. Carlin, it would have been interesting to see how he grew up. Like Noam Chomsky, he was all against this stuff, but now he's like 90 and he's just like, get the vaccine or die or something, like shit like that. And you're like, damn, if he would have passed away earlier, I would have been like, oh, he would have been against this. But
sure.
You know what?
Right.
I believe the truth is, no matter how great these people are, usually when they get old, they're fucking have bad opinions, one way or the other. Like, even, you know, John Cleese lately has been like, this woke stuff is stupid. And it's like, feels like a clunky old guy dealing with this shit. Or you go the other way where you're like, everyone's a Nazi, like Rob Reiner, and you feel like a clunky old guy. Like, dude, it is hard to be like, so.
Mel Brooks is like the only sane old guy. Mel Brooks is like, yeah, we're coming out with Blazing Saddles too. Well, you're like, Mel, you're alive?
The truth is,
I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, he wants to do all this crazy shit.
The truth is, any old guy that's sane at 70 probably just ain't talking about this shit anymore. He's probably like just living his 90, life, and maybe come out every now and then. But I think any 75-year-old that feels compelled to like really, really be in the like conversation still, usually is fucking gonna have crappy takes and fucking opinions.
Yeah. I mean, the John Cleese thing is like, I think he's actually pretty consistent. He's kind of always, it's just,
but it's just like he almost it feels like
it just because it's an old guy saying it. But you're like, he's like, yeah, I don't know. They've been policing my speech for ever.
I hope we don't get like that.
We will. You of course so? You do. Then dude, I'm like that with music now. Like, I remember you're a fucking musician. Weren't at one point you were like really on the pulse? Yeah, maybe you still are because you are a musician, but like
I have that old man energy where I'm like, oh, this stuff's too much.
These mumble rappers.
I was just listening to like Hootie and the Blowfish in the car. Yeah. I'm getting old. Yeah. Oh, dude, Darius Rucker really crushes. They're like, who? They're like Lil Pump. I'm like, never mind. I'll just hang out by myself.
Yeah, but know what I feel like the thing that you lose is not that even that you don't like it or whatever, but the reason you can't describe why. Like, it's like when people go, oh, this guy sucks and I don't even know why people like him. You're kind of like, yeah, exactly. You don't understand why people like him. Like, you should be ashamed of that.
Yeah.
It'd be like, I get why they like him because of this and this and this. It really isn't my thing, but it's not even that. They're like, it's crazy that people like this. You're like, yeah, because you don't get it anymore.
I mean, kids these days. It's just like everybody's always going to be like, at some point, going to be like, kids these days.
But you can still be on the pulse of different things. But you're missing the thing. Like, to be a kid in high school and you're around everyone all the time and all that stuff, like, as an adult, I think like our age, like you kind of are around other conversations, but if to be around the like super like the music, like YouTube, TikTok stars, you'll never be every day you have 10,000 people around you that are all kind of like have the pulse.
Yeah.